Hey guys, welcome back to Waters Family Homestead. Alright, this is my first time recording a video on this newer laptop that I bought a few months back, 6 months ago, whatever it was. And yeah, it's been a little over 6 months, I think. But anyway, let's see how it does. So when I get ideas for videos, I usually text myself. I'll send myself a text to remind myself to make a video about whatever it was. But sometimes I actually go back and make that video, sometimes I just don't. But I've had it happen several times before where I wanted to make a video about a certain thing, and then another channel that I follow or two made a video about that same thing, and I'm going, well, there's no need in me making one, and half the other homestead prepping channels out there are doing the same exact thing. So sometimes I just don't. But this one I actually got the idea from watching another YouTuber's video. Now I'm not quoting them, I'm not using any of their graphics or comments or any of that stuff, so just gave me the idea of what I wanted to have a video about. So today's topic is completely prepping, y'all. To me, how long can you go without having to go to a store? Now, I'm not talking about going to buy clothes and stuff like that. Everybody knows you could probably last several years without buying clothes. Even if you're wearing old raggedy shoes, you probably can go quite a long time without having to buy clothes. But being preppers, how long could you, I'm not near as prepared as I would like to be. I've got a lot of food stored, I've got a lot of water stored, I've got backup electricity, I've got a lot of things, security-wise, medical, covered. I've never talked to anybody about prepping and them bring up something that made sense that you might need after crap hits the fan, and I wasn't already prepared for that. Now, am I 100% on that topic? For example, like medical? No. But I do have most, if not a little more than most, of your basic medical needs covered, and food covered, and water covered, and backup sources to that, how to make fire, how to heat your house, all of that stuff. I've never had self-defense. I've never had anybody bring up something that I wasn't already prepared for or partially prepared for. But the point of this video is, how long can you go without going to the grocery store? Just say worst case scenario. We're not talking about nuclear war. Y'all know I do not prep for nuclear war, because where I am located in Southwest Georgia, I am less than 50 miles as a crow flies from 3 different military bases. If any of those 3 or all of those 3 were to get hit with a nuclear bomb, big one, I pretty much don't have a chance to survive. And I just don't want to live underground in a bunker for 30 years. So, anyway, I prep for everything but that. Now, do I have some preps that would help me through that type of situation? Yes, I do. But at the same time, that's not my main purpose for prepping. My main purpose for prepping, the way I see it, and there's a lot of other channels out there that give you their ideas and give you their opinions, and this is my opinion, and agree with me or not, it's just the way I feel. A lot of people live, like right now, that hurricane that's going up the East Coast. A lot of people live in an area where they've got to prepare for hurricane season and storms, or out in the middle of the country where Tornado Alley is, you've got to be prepared for tornadoes and all of this stuff. A lot of severe storms and such. people prepare for. They prepare for local emergencies. You know, there's 1,000 different reasons for you to prepare. Me, I try to be prepared for an EMP. I have a lot of things that are put up and protected from an EMP, or as protected as I can get it from an EMP. I've read a lot about it. I'm more knowledgeable on the subject than the average person. Not trying to say I'm an expert by any means, but I can answer most of the average person's questions truthfully, honestly, and accurately. But you know, my power blinked the other day, and that's what got me to thinking. And I was watching a video, and they were like, what would you do if an EMP hit? And I'm like, you know what, when my power blinked, the grid power went down, and I switched to my battery backup, my solar system. And I got thinking, well, I need to get this done, I need to get this done, and you know, I need to do this and I need to do this. Things start going through my head of what I'm not 100% at that I'd like to be 100% at. So one of the things in that video was, how long can you go without going to the grocery store, without going to a convenience store? Doesn't matter if you're talking about Walmart or your neighborhood Piggly Wiggly or your Kroger or your Food Line, whatever. Without going to get food and essential supplies somewhere else, how long can you go? If you had to, right now, an EMP hit 5 minutes after this video's over with, and it wiped out 98% of all the electronics out there. Most of the cars aren't working. The grid's down. It's going to be years before it comes back on. How long can you go without going to the grocery store? And I got to thinking, well, if it was just me, and I tend to be a loner anyway. Now, I've got my kids and my grandkids, and I love them very much, and my sisters and my brother and all of them, and I thoroughly enjoy spending time with them. And if I don't hear from my kids and stuff over a certain amount of time, I always rag them out. I ain't talked to them in years. You know, it ain't been that long, but I give them a hard time about it. But if I had to survive and just feed myself and water and take care of myself, first of all, I don't think lone wolves are ever going to make it. You've got to sleep sometime. And you can't do, you know, I can't patrol the back of my property and the front of my property at the same time, and the sides, and I can't do all that by myself. So it's kind of a futile question, or a ridiculous question, to how long I can go. But if I had to feed myself and take care of medical and all of that stuff, how long could I go? I could pretty much go indefinitely. Definitely over several years. Now, would I be eating steak and all that every day? No. But I would be eating good food, healthy, all of that. But I don't plan on being by myself. How long can you go without having to go somewhere to take care of yourself and your family, or your group, your bug out group, whatever that may be, your MAG, your mutual assistance group? So the question in that other video was, if you have to go anywhere, say in 3 weeks, you're not free. You're not free because you're dependent on going somewhere else to get things that you need. If you've got to go in 2 months, 3 months, a year, you're not free. You're temporarily free, but you're not permanently free, because you've got to go get assistance from somewhere else, whether that's food, drinkable water, medicine, whatever. You're not free, you're dependent. And especially those people out there that think the government's going to save them, you're not free at all. you're completely dependent on a government that has no desire whatsoever to take care of you. All the government people care about is themselves. If you think otherwise, I'm sorry, you've got your head stuck up your tail. Open your eyes. Look at what's really going on in this world. The morals that Jesus taught us and that the Bible talks about are very rare nowadays. I'm not saying there's not a lot of Christians out there. There is. But I do believe that we're not the majority anymore. We do not live in a moral society any longer. It is just crap. Look at all the children that go missing every year. Look at all the things that go unpunished, without getting too political. Morality is gone, and we have to bring it back if we're going to save this nation and this world. The only way to do that is through Jesus Christ and through reading your Bible. But that got me to thinking really, really hard when my power went out the other day, even though it was only out 20 or 30 minutes, about how long could I go? How long can I go without having to go somewhere? Now, for food and water, I could go months, plural, very easily. No problem whatsoever. I've got more food than I could possibly eat in a couple of years. I've got 1,000 gallons of fresh potable water and a way to get more. So I'm not worried about that. You know, security-wise, I'm as secure as I could possibly be until the rest of my mag gets here, or at least a big part of it gets here. Medical, I've got basic medical, even dental stuff partially covered. Nobody's 100% unless you're an actual doctor, and I'm not. But that means I'm dependent on someone else for medical. And I don't like doing that, but I'm not a doctor. I don't have a choice. But where are you? Are you ready? If everything went to crap 5 minutes after this video ends, are you ready? How many bad guys have come across the open border over the last 4+ years? And I'm sorry, I'm not blaming all this on the former president, because the border was open before he got in there. Right now, the border's closed. We don't have anybody coming across the southern border. They're coming across the northern border like you poked a hole in a balloon and they're pouring in up there. But that ain't what people are talking about. There's a lot of bad people that have set up in this country and are waiting on someone, whoever's in charge, to tell them to do whatever it is they're planning. We left plenty of weapons and such over there, and a lot of it has made its way back over here. They've got better weapons than a lot of us normal civilians have, because we left it. Nobody's had to pay a price for that either. How long could you go, guys? Are you ready? Are you ready for crap to hit the fan? Whether it be an EMP or economic collapse, the dollar collapses, whatever. Are you ready? Can you take care of yourself and your family, your mag, without depending on somebody else or the government? If you're not there, you need to get serious and start prepping like your life depends on it, because it does. If you do not have a go bag or a get home bag, an emergency bag in your vehicle, if you don't work from home, you're not prepped. There's a lot that can be done for pennies on the dollar, or a lot of it for free. You've got to start putting more focus on being ready when the time comes. It's not a matter of if it happens, y'all. Don't listen to this programming they're doing on TV. It's a matter of when. The human species has never invented or created a weapon since God created Adam and Eve. We have never created a weapon that was not used. Think about that. Guys, I appreciate y'all watching my videos. Thank you very much. If you don't mind, hit the subscribe button. I do prepping and homesteading videos. Most of them are over my chickens and my little raised bed garden and things, but it's all comes back to prepping and being better prepared. And I just thought, if you can't live without having to depend on a store or the government or someone else, you're not free. You're dependent. Thank y'all very much. Remember to hit the thumbs up if you don't mind. Please subscribe if you have not. I get a lot more views than I do subscribers. My channel's 4 years old. I've been shadow banned for so long because of things like tonight that I'm talking to y'all about, prepping and the crooked government and everything else. I get shadow banned so bad my channel barely grows, and I do this because I love it and this is who I am. And if I can help one person survive what's coming, then I did what God led me to do, and that's what I'm trying to do. So thank y'all very much. Remember what I've always told you. Jesus Christ loves you, and so do I. Y'all be safe. Be prepared.